Hello, I'm Scott Wrighton and I serve as Decatur's City Manager, and it's my pleasure, or the Deputy City Manager's pleasure, to bring you these weekly updates about what's going on at your Decatur City Government. Today I'm going to focus more on good news. You know, we all get enough bad news from the daily mainstream media feed, so hopefully this will be a refreshing change. There are a lot of good people in Decatur who are just instinctively helpful to one another. In a world that reports constantly about negative and sometimes awful events, the unsung heroes in our community right here who perform acts of kindness are sometimes forgotten or overlooked. In fact, in my job, I interact a lot with people that are not from Decatur, and many of them remark to me about how friendly and kind our local residents are, at least compared to where they're from. And I think it's true. And in fact, I've experienced it myself. But much of the impact of this kindness goes unreported. And so for this reason, the City of Decatur's Human Rights Commission has created a new program that they call AOK, or Acts of Kindness. Its purpose is to recognize the actions of regular, ordinary citizens who are just kind to one another, and in so doing, hopefully encourage others to do the same. For example, recently some neighbors and some local businesses worked together without any charges to remove a large tree that fell in the yard of a single mom. The Decatur Human Rights Commission wants you to tell them more about acts of kindness, just like this example. The Human Rights Commission will then arrange to share these stories and these circumstances on the city's website and on the government's access channel, so that they can serve as an inspiration and an encouragement for all of us to look for more opportunities just to be kind to one another. If you'd like to report an act of kindness, email your story or whatever it is that you saw to the Decatur Human Rights Commission with this email address: humanrightscommission@decaturil.gov. No spaces, all lowercase, just humanrightscommission@decaturil.gov. For those of you who drive up North 22nd Street, north of the Garfield overpass from time to time, you know that this is not the prettiest street in Decatur. So this street section is going to be resurfaced later this year. But what's even more important than the asphalt upgrade is that a local nonprofit called Beautify Decatur has received a generous donation that they'll be using along this section of 22nd Street from Pershing to the Garfield overpass to remove dead and unsightly trees, clear ugly fencing from in front of the former Firestone property, plant new trees, add some public art, and install some other landscaping along this route that will greatly improve the look of this streetscape. Both the Illinois Department of Transportation and the owner of the former Firestone site have agreed to all of these improvements, most of which will be completed this year. In addition to this important project, Beautify Decatur has been involved in litter prevention programs and several other public beautification programs in Decatur for many years. They also help the City of Decatur keep Central Park looking good with the hanging baskets that we have there during the summer season. Macon County's vaccination rate is inching up, albeit slowly. It now sits close to 43% of our population that has been fully vaccinated. Of course, the number who've had at least one shot is even higher than that. Of course, this number needs to be higher, but I believe the pace of vaccinations is starting to trend up. Crossing Healthcare has taken the lead in opening a rapid COVID-19 testing service in partnership with an organization called Shield Illinois. This is an easily administered saliva test that can produce results, positive or negative, of whether you have COVID, in less than 6 hours. So for everyone that may be required to get a regular test for an employer, or maybe that you need a negative test result within 48 or 72 hours of taking a cruise or going on some other travel, this is a very valuable service. So contact Crossing Healthcare for more information if you'd like to access this rapid testing service. With the Shield testing administered so far in Decatur, even though it's been only up for a couple of weeks, the positivity rate is running around 13%. That number is still too high, and it underscores that we need to remain vigilant in our prevention efforts. But the good news is that getting the vaccine radically reduces your chances of getting COVID. And If you're unfortunate to get COVID anyway, those who are vaccinated have milder cases and they are much less likely to be admitted to local hospital. Thanks again for taking the time to look at this video, and I look forward to talking to you some more about upcoming programs, activities, and events with the City of Decatur.